Tesla stock gained about 7.5% in regular trading, another 1% in after hours, and that's currently what we're seeing for overnight trading. Why is this actually happening? I don't think it's because Bard added Tesla to its best ideas list for the rest of this year in 2024. That's not it. Let us break down exactly what's going on with Tesla stock and what you need to know. And we're going to go ahead and start off this video with some news that came out in after hours. I highly suggest you watch this video in its entirety so you are fully caught up to speed with the good, the bad, and everything in between. It looks like Best Buy is now advertising Tesla's new universal wall connector directly on the homepage of their US website. This should be very good for Tesla. S.E. Robinson over on Twitter posted a video of even more Cybertrucks leaving Giga Texas. Sawyer Merritt says it's entirely possible that Tesla is building more Cybertrucks right now than GM is Hummer EVs. I tend to think that's probably realistic. Tesla Megapack put out on Twitter, quote, with a capacity of just under 200 megawatt hours, the Shenja Energy Company Megapack will improve grid reliability and provide important frequency regulation services to support Taiwan's renewable energy target. Tesla is, as Root Bay says on Twitter, saving the Earth. Yahoo Finance wrote this article earlier in the day today that says, is Tesla Inc. significantly undervalued? A comprehensive valuation analysis. Despite a daily gain of 5.5% and a 3-month gain of 26.8%, Tesla is currently trading at $227.62 per share. That's false. At the time of recording this video, Tesla stock is trading at $233.67, up 1.04% in overnight trading. I think it's also important to point out in that context that futures for the NASDAQ are actually down almost 0.25% right now. So something has switched with Tesla, and we'll break it down here in just a second. But Yahoo Finance goes on to say that Tesla was founded in 2003 in Palo Alto, California. Tesla is a vertically integrated sustainable energy company. Note that, sustainable energy company. Not just cars, not just solar, not just energy storage, not just AI. It's a suite of multiple different products. Yahoo Finance points out that Tesla's cash has continued to grow as their debt has continued to fall. That is unrivaled in the auto sector. Not to mention EVs. Your EV competitor, quote unquote competitors, are not in good shape. And Tesla really is in the crowd of its own. There's nobody that really holds a candle at all to Tesla, whether it's legacy or EV. Yahoo Finance points out that Tesla's 3-year average EBITDA growth rate is 83.9%, ranking better than 97.26% of companies in the vehicles and parts industry. Now put this into context. Wall Street is expecting 29% EPS growth for next year. The average over the last 3 years is 83.9%. So Wall Street is expecting over 60% of a decline to EPS relative to the 3-year average next year. That's why I've been pounding the table, literally pounding the table in some videos, saying that Tesla is basically the easiest money that you could buy. The estimates are far too low. If Tesla had high estimates, this would be a different story. But Tesla's estimates are bargain bin, basically pricing in a guaranteed recession. In conclusion, Yahoo Finance thinks Tesla stock appears to be significantly undervalued. Not just undervalued, but significantly undervalued. The company's financial condition is strong and its profitability is fair. Its growth ranks better than 97.26% of companies in the vehicles and parts industry. Now, if you skim Google or any other news outlet, you would think that Tesla stock did so well today because Bard Equity adds Tesla stock to best ideas list. But this really makes you wonder, if you're an investor in Tesla that watches all of these videos, that sees the good news progressing every single day, this makes you wonder, like, this is not that big of a deal, right? We've seen a lot bigger things happen in the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, and well, Tesla stock has not reacted as strongly to those other pieces of really good news, but is reacting very good to this news, including, I should note, some of the massive price target increases you've seen after Tesla's earnings. What happened? The stock continued to fall when it did not look like there was price cuts coming anytime relatively soon. That's one example of many. Now let's talk about what I think is really going on with Tesla stock. And this is only my opinion based off of my years in Wall Street. This looks like something is coming. Now, what do I mean by something is coming? Hedge funds, institutions, banks, money managers, your large financial players in the stock market, they tend to get information before we do. They tend to get tipped off by who knows who, somewhere, somehow. They tend to get information before anyone else. That's why, for an example, stocks that are going to report good earnings, a lot of the time, if it's really good, the stock will rally before earnings. And then we wonder why this stock had good earnings, or who knew this stock was going to have good earnings. So, what could be coming then? Well, we have a couple major catalysts on the near-term horizon. The Cybertruck. But before we get the actual Cybertruck delivery date, we're going to get the Cybertruck event. And I think we're probably just days away from getting a scheduled Cybertruck event. That is probably why the stock did so well today. That's my personal speculation. I don't care if you believe me, if you don't. That's what it looks like is causing this rally to me. Now, that's one aspect of this. There's other things that are currently going on. We have other catalysts coming for Tesla. Something to do with FSD licensing, that is a possibility. Something to do with the refresh Model 3, that is a possibility. There's other things that are happening here. Keep that in mind. But it does look like this over 8% move, almost 8.4% move, including the move in overnight trading that we're seeing right now, is far more than just barred equity adding Tesla to its best ideas list. That sounds pathetic if that's the theory that you're rolling with. So, what's next? That's a big question. And if you just go on YouTube and click CNBC, or type in CNBC in the search bar, you're going to go through video after video after video of money managers talking about NVIDIA earnings. Now, if NVIDIA earnings do not cause a mass sell-off, then this could very well be the bottom for Tesla. I think that is a major catalyst for our markets. It affected the whole markets. Huge, 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 huge. When NVIDIA reported earnings in May, look what happened in the markets over the next couple of months. Well, I find it hard to believe NVIDIA having bad earnings would not affect the markets. Maybe I'm wrong there, but based on the former reaction we've seen and the positive kind of movement it gave the markets, I think NVIDIA earnings are going to be big. Now, it's not a guarantee. If anything negative will come out of this, or positive. It could be flat, it could be neutral, nothing could happen. That's always a possibility. That is your next biggest catalyst. That is your next biggest hurdle coming on Wednesday. But I do think even besides just an upcoming catalyst, an upcoming event day, an upcoming licensing deal of full self-driving, or something bigger that is under the surface causing this 8.5% move, I do think there is a certain degree of individuals who got way too pessimistic on Tesla, and really the industry as a whole has gotten very pessimistic on Tesla. Tesla and Apple are the most under-owned big tech stocks. And if you're in a low growth environment, as we're probably going to be in 2024, I don't think a lot of investors expect huge growth. You want to invest in stable, maybe that's not staple like a stapler, stable, large cap growth companies. The bigger growth, the better. And Tesla, even on Wall Street's estimates of 27% vehicle growth, 29% EPS growth, that is 5 times more than what you're expecting out of Apple or Microsoft. And you have a very large, kind of safety net when it comes to Tesla. Tesla is doing phenomenal as a business. And it's, again, growing at rates that are unprecedented. within other big tech names. In this market environment, that's the kind of stock that you want to own, especially given we do have major upcoming catalysts in 2024, the Cybertruck, licensing of full self-driving, so on and so forth, the refresh Model 3. There's a lot of reasons to want to own Tesla from now heading into 2024. I also think there is a large group of investors that are starting to question this Chinese recession or lack of one. A lot of investors are starting to question if there is going to be a substantial slowdown in China. We know some things are not doing well, but if the government does stimulate, or just people start to spend more money, consumption really goes into households, the problem is Chinese citizens have not been spending enough money. If that can change, then maybe it doesn't have to be all too bad. And some of the numbers we keep seeing, like weekly vehicle registration numbers out of China, continue to be very strong for Tesla. It seems like investors always expect the worst for Tesla, and that is not happening. And maybe markets are starting to expect a trough for things like Tesla's exports and imports that were down almost 15% month over month, that preceding months were falling 10 to 12%. You've been in a decline for Chinese exports and imports for the last 3 months. Markets are saying, hey, how bad does that actually get? Are we closer to a bottom in Chinese economic activity, or is there going to be more pain to come? And I think markets are coming to their own conclusions that the Chinese vehicle market is doing fine. Now, also last Friday, XPeng reported earnings, and they guided up huge. XPeng expects 39,000 to 41,000 deliveries for Q3. Last quarter, they delivered 21,000 vehicles. If XPeng is seeing great demand, then why would Tesla not be? And we're not seeing any evidence to suggest that Tesla is not. So there is a strong case to own Tesla, and that's, again, why I've been beating on the table, literally beating on the table in some videos. Well, you're actually starting to see this play out. And good thing for you if you're watching this video, Tesla stock is $233 per share. It's not $300, it's not $400, it's not over all-time highs. You're buying this thing still at bargain bin prices. According to Yahoo Finance, in the article that we just went over, Yahoo Finance thinks a fair valuation for Tesla, a fair valuation, is currently $453.55 per share. Now, I do want to play this video from an analyst that used to be on the board of directors for Tesla that goes over some interesting things that a lot of Wall Street is not paying attention to, that, or at least they weren't paying attention to, and now they maybe are. Like energy and storage, growing over 222% year over year. This clip is quite long. If you guys don't want to hear what this former Tesla director has to say, which I highly recommend you do, then just skip to the end of that clip, and we're going to break down where Tesla stock is going from here, in my personal opinion. Keep in mind, we expected this bounce for this week. We expected a bounce Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at the very minimum. And it looks like we got more than we bargained for.
Our focus now to Tesla and the EV space. Joining me right now, Steve Wesley, founder, managing partner, the Wesley Group. Steve Wesley, I'm so glad you're here with us. I want to talk all about all the EVs that we're watching so closely. Of course, you're a former board member of Tesla. And once again, we saw Tesla cutting prices. I mean, I've heard Elon Musk say they can cut when they need to, but it seems that they're cutting periodically. What do you think is behind that, and where does it fit into the EV space?
Well, you bet. This is extraordinary news. Tesla has just done their 6th price decrease of the year. They're triggering a global price war. And why not? They're uniquely positioned to win the price war because they've got 13% net margins versus Toyota at 7, Ford at 2. No one else can keep up. They're doing a global land grab because they can. And I think what's interesting for investors is this is just terrible news for Toyota, GM, Ford, and the others, but it's great news for consumers. EV costs are coming down a lot, and they're soon, probably by late next year, 2025, going to cost less than gas cars. The whole world is going electric.
Right, understood. In the meantime, I was reading in Barron's over the weekend, and they were talking about the competition in the space and actually noting that BYD has been taking market share and actually at 37 to the tune of about 37%, 4 times Tesla, leaving competitors like Li Auto, XPeng, and NIO in the dust. Where do we stand? Are we worried about the competitive space for Tesla? Because everybody always says what a leader Tesla is.
Look, the whole world's going electric. Tesla's the king of the hill. They just delivered 466,000 cars in Q2, $25 billion, on track to do 2 million cars this year, $100 billion in revenue. The Model Y is the best-selling car in the world, and they're about to launch the Cybertruck. So this is good news for them. But if you look at the big picture, Tesla, 21% of global EV auto share, BYD at 16.7%. But rounding out the top 5, 2 other Chinese companies, GAC at 6%, Volkswagen at 4.7%, and SAIC. So 3 of the top 5 selling EV brands globally are Chinese. There's a changing of the guard here.
Yeah. Take some water. There's so much going on. We had a great conversation with the chief financial officer of General Motors today. They're doing their push in EVs. There's concern about a strike by the UAW. They talked about how much inventory that they have to keep on hand in case of a strike. Where does that fit in for the Tesla picture? Could one man's problem be another man's win here? Where does that fit in here? And does Tesla have enough inventory?
I think Tesla will have inventory. Look, they've got 5 plants at full production now. They've just broken ground on another plant in Monterrey, Mexico. More coming. I think the big question when you step back and you look at BYD and say, wow, 352,000 cars they sold in Q2 to Tesla's 466. They're getting pretty close, but BYD is growing faster, 95% year over year. So keep an eye on the Chinese. The big question, if you step back and look at this, is will Americans and Europeans buy Chinese brands in general, but especially with IoT devices in every car? I think a lot of people are not going to feel comfortable with that. And the other big question is Tesla's lead in software that drops 99% profit margins to the bottom line going to outweigh China's big advantage in low-cost batteries? Those are the big questions. We'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, understood. At this point, what are some of the things that, when we think about Tesla, we think about AI, we think about batteries. When people, obviously the Cybertruck's coming, and I do want to talk about that, but what is Tesla, even software services? When you think about Tesla, what do you think is going to drive Tesla to the next, higher price point for shareholders? Because there's a lot of folks that are out there that think it's worth less than $100, and then you have those who are very positive on Tesla. Where do you think it's headed and why?
Look, I think it's going to go up. And what people need to understand is Tesla has 4 core advantages. One, they were one of the first to take battery production in-house. They have lower cost batteries than virtually anybody but the Chinese. Second, they've got an advantage in what's called over-the-air software. That gives them a big advantage. Third, they took their dealerships in-house. That gives them a big advantage over others years ago. And fourth, they've been a leader in the robotization of manufacturing. They will manufacture cars in a fraction of the time. They've got large stamping machines. They just have fewer parts in their vehicles. But if you step back a little bit and look to the not too distant future, Tesla's got this other huge advantage no one's talking about yet, but they will be soon. Tesla deployed 3.7 gigawatts of energy storage in Q2. That's enough to power all the homes in Chicago and Los Angeles. Their mega pack batteries combined with their AutoBiddo software enables them to provide turnkey solutions. In a nutshell, Tesla is quietly becoming a global utility. Now, Q2 energy revenues were only, I say only lightly, 1.5 billion, 6% of total revenue, but they're growing 222% a year. If they can keep up and expand their energy business for another year or two like this, their energy division may be their secret weapon.
Oh, okay. Steve Wesley, thank you for that, of the Wesley Group. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Steve. Great to see you. Love having you on the show always.
So even though I expected a bounce Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I did not expect 8.5% on Monday. And I do not think Bard Equity adding Tesla to its best ideas list is a reason for Tesla to go up 8.5%. Now, I'm not going to argue with it because I've been buying Tesla stock like nobody's business over the last couple of days when Tesla was under 220. What? You're paying me to buy Tesla at those prices. You're still paying me to buy Tesla at 230 today. Point in being, there's probably something bigger on the near-term horizon, and us spotting all of these Cybertrucks, maybe there's a catalyst around Cybertrucks coming. But bottom line is, this was not caused just by this Bard Equity news today. So when I think about it like that, I do think Tesla stock can go higher from here. Could go a lot higher from here, depending on the size and scope of this upcoming news that we are going to get. Now, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have a crystal ball. This is just what I've experienced in the markets, especially with Tesla. A news event like what we've seen today would not have normally given Tesla an 8.5% move. You can make the argument that Tesla has been falling like a rock recently, so it's an over-exaggeration on good news. That would make sense, but not 8.5%. That would not make sense to me. 3-4%, we could make an argument there. But this was something a lot deeper. Let me know down below in the comment section why you think Tesla stock rallied so aggressively today. And let me know what you guys think about NVIDIA earnings. Is this going to be a nothing burger? Is this going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be neutral, aka a nothing burger? And how can this affect the broader markets? That is your biggest risk to Tesla and to the broader markets for this week. You're going to hear from Fed Jerome Powell on Friday, but that is probably going to give us a whole lot of nothing. Unless Fed Jerome Powell really wants to crush the markets, in which he did not do that at the last Fed meeting, I don't see that as likely as well. So, 215, as a lot of you guys have said down below in the comment section and on Twitter, could actually be the low for Tesla. That is certainly a strong possibility. I mean, just take note of the option activity that we've seen today. 71% positive order value, almost 1,200 hedge fund and institutional orders worth $800 million. You have not seen 71% positive order value in quite a long amount of time. It's been quite a while since before Tesla's earnings. Have you seen 70% positive order value? And then even then, most of those days that we were actually going through a rally, it was 55 to 65% positive. 71% is definitely on the higher end of what we have seen over the past multiple months. Take that into consideration, as well as what we're seeing here in overnight trading. Tesla stock up 1.2% now. So that is going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you learned something, you like my perspective, or you just want to stay up to date with everything going on with Tesla stock every single day. Thank you for watching. My name is Michael Tyler, and I will see you in the next one.